All right, and we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, here to talk about everything in terms of the world of professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside the ring, backstage current call, rumors. We talk about superstar, inactive statuses, injury updates. We talk about contract negotiations, extensions, and signings. We talk about promotions from WWE to the CMLL, the GCW to New Japan Professional Wrestling, from Stardom to, Ring of Honor. If it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show, 1010%. So make sure you guys tune in Monday through Friday on the GSMC Sports Network to, learn a little bit about some good old-fashioned wrestling. All right, guys, so just kind of reflect on what we talked about real quick. We had our WWE NXT review, and now we're going to talk about some AEW Dynamite. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that super chat, whether if you got a burning question or a hot take in terms of professional wrestling here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love, your guys' opinions. Obviously, we are all ears. Give me a shout out where you're listening from or just how you feel about wrestling as a whole. It doesn't have to be TNA, it doesn't have to be WWE, NXT. Just drop a little fun fact. Maybe like a Jeopardy question that would be pretty badass. We are all ears, guys. Just remember that. It's nice to keep the conversation lively, making sure that if you guys feel like this is your show just as much as it is, as it is mine, your voice, we want you guys to feel like you're part of the mix. So do not be shy. Do not be shy and drop your thoughts inside that chat. And if we really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed, why not use that super chat? It's that $sign there below that chat box. Go ahead and hit it up. Guarantee you whatever you guys put inside there will be talked about. If it's juicy enough, could be debated about, could definitely take the place and be a segment on the show. It's always cool to have a lot of fans engagement. I don't want to be up here just yelling at the mic for like an hour and a half, or so I definitely love and respect your guys' your opinions 1010%. So obviously, plus it's a great way to keep the support the channel, guys, at the GSMC Sports Network. We definitely want to make sure that you guys are fully satisfied in terms of the sports content that you guys love to consume on a daily basis. We definitely love and we care about our audiences 1010%. I can give you the Eric Rodriguez guarantee that you will never, ever, ever regret subscribing to such an amazing sports network that obviously prides themselves, and our success is make sure that you guys feel like you guys are happy. And that's just something like kind of like the philosophy here. This family run organization. We're good people. We're not like those corporate conglomerate. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not like going to get into that. But anyways, we are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. So thank you for your support. It makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Let's keep this party going. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome, and together we will make sure this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, super chat, not your thing. Hit up the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Give me a shout out where you're listening from. Just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity 1010%. But of course, in terms of talking sports, it's inevitable. There's going to be some disagreements. There's going to be some fuel to this fire. I'm just kidding. With all due respect, obviously, with all due respect, we definitely love the opinions of the viewers. Definitely love and can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. Feedback is a gift, so don't be shy. Drop however you feel inside that chat, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. All right, it's Wednesday. You know what that means. AEW Dynamite is live from Wolfstein Center in Cleveland, Ohio. This is the third episode of Dynamite during the 6-week, build toward AEW's full gear, which is taking place in November 23rd, which feels like a month away, but in reality, it's like 2 weeks. I'm just kidding. No, like time is going by. So these holidays are going by so fast, man. I got to be honest. Taking my kids trick or treating tomorrow. I felt like I just put up the Halloween decorations up yesterday, and I put them up. I think it was the second week of October, because I was like, you know what, when's the right time to kind of put up some decorations? And now I'm going to be stuck with that same question, wondering when's the right time to put up some Christmas decorations without seeming, too obnoxious. I know a lot of times some people see Christmas decorations. By all means, some people do have their legitimate reasons why they do not like Christmas. Obviously, I'm not going to get into it. It's not that type of podcast. We're going to talk about wrestling, but by all means, I'm a huge Christmas guy. I love Christmas. I love the togetherness of family, friends, and just anybody. It's it's kind of cool. But we're here to talk about Dynamite. Can't wait to watch it. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have Shelton Benjamin taking on Swerve Strickland. I can't help but to believe that this has something to do with Bobby Lashley debuting in the AEW. And like I said, I have not watched it. It could have happened or it could have not happened. I can sound like a complete idiot right now. Swerve Strickland is um is better than Shelton Benjamin. He's better than Shelton Benjamin. Something has to get to the point where, MVP is going to be doing anything, pulling out all the stops to ultimately have this new Hurt Business Syndicate, this faction, not look weak. To be honest, at this point, you can't really afford that because Swerve Strickland was offered to join the Hurt Syndicate, basically crumbled up MVP's business card and threw it right in front of his face and kind of, spat on it on its way down to the ground. It was, he decided to ultimately kind of bet on himself, stay true to, Prince Nut Up. So, I feel like the only way that this could end up in favor of the Hurt Syndicate is if you have Bobby Lashley debut. I've been, talking about a couple of names as well as Powerhouse Hobbs as well joining the fray. He's cleared to compete. He's been recently kind of lingering around AEW Dynamite backstage, so I feel like it's only a matter of time. Maybe he will do it first or, debut and, be on the Hurt Syndicate. But obviously these aren't, my opinions 1,010%. But, I feel like this is going to be a great episode. Fright Night from Dynamite. It's going to be pretty great. And if Swerve Strickland and Bobby Lashley come face to face tonight inside that AEW ring, I got to be honest, they're probably going to hear me screaming like a little girl all the way from Cleveland, Ohio. Me, like, getting so crazy because this is like two big wrestling competitors. Both of them had their little stint in WWE, and it wasn't any of their faults of why it didn't really work out. And both of the superstars were kind of let go earlier because of the pandemic and roster cuts and stuff like that. And then Bobby Lashley was ultimately brought back, but then WWE didn't know how to book him after basically everybody decided to come back and work for WWE after during the unprecedented dangerous times that was the COVID-19 pandemic. So then Bobby Lashley in an interview kind of be like, yeah, it feels like we were the workhorses. Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, MVP, the Hurt Business. When he was a WWE champion, they were working their arses off, and at the end of the day, the moment other wrestlers decided to be like, all right, now I'm ready to fight again after the pandemic kind of subsided. Obviously, during the day and age of the Thunderdome and the empty arenas, Bobby Lashley found a lot of success inside WWE, and it's just heartbreaking. It's just heartbreaking because I was definitely keen. I was definitely. I was definitely promoting the fact that Bobby Lashley should stay with WWE. I was a WWE fan before I started watching any other wrestling promotion, so obviously I do have a some sort of a soft spot, maybe like a biases or something like that. But I love AEW as well. AEW. Like I mentioned it before in a couple of podcasts that I definitely love the way it's a little more edgier. Definitely appeals to like the more or less kind of like the young adults, the seasoned veterans that definitely love themselves some nostalgic WCW feeling, and they're nowhere. Obviously comparing to the WCW is silly and it's a myth, but what Tony Khan has done within the span of AEW's existence has been phenomenal. Has been absolutely, it's been admirable. It's been great. And Tony Khan, he's great with his wrestlers, definitely loves, respects them, do anything for his talent. Talent comes first. Obviously, these guys at the end of the day, they got to watch out for their injuries. They got to spend time with their families whenever they're not on the road. They're on the road. You know, um, they do shows, Collision, Rampage, Dynamite, and some PLEs. So it's it's not an easy kind of life, and I feel like Tony Khan knows that, and he's like, you know what? At the end of the day, all of us are, this is a job. This is a job, and the best thing about a job is once when you get along with your coworkers, and you kind of, kind of look at yourselves in the mirror and kind of know that I was like, you know what? A lot of these people would rather be back home with their families working 9 to 5 jobs. And, maybe, if, they make that much money. It's like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and let's go gun ho and do it. But, I don't know, definitely, that's one of the reasons why I love Tony Khan, the familyness factor of it. The family. It's all about the family. All right, we have a AEW World Tag Team Championship match between Matthew and Nicholas Jackson of the Elite taking on Private Party Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn. This should be pretty dope. This should be pretty awesome. And if they lose the match, they must split up forever. Usually when that happens, I feel like with their back against the wall, they'll get the job done. Obviously, they earned another title shot after the Young Bucks defeated them at Wrestle Dream. I feel like it's time for the Young Bucks to drop the titles. I thought they were gonna drop it at Wrestle Dream, just forcing this, not forcing it, but kind of introducing this rematch, but kind of running it back. I feel like this is definitely going to wind up in favor of Private Party. They've been around AEW since like the very beginning. If anybody decides to take the tag team like division into new heights, it's got to be Private Party because right now, Matthew Nicholas Jackson, I got to be honest, they kind of dug themselves in this hole with this absolutely dog crap of a storyline that was the Elite. Getting Kaz Okada, getting Jack Perry, like it just doesn't fit. And you don't really see these guys together that much anymore on screen. And it's kind of like a storyline that's been kind of being brushed under the rug, and a lot of people assume that AEW wrestling fans kind of just like forgot about it. They don't really care. I do kind of care because you didn't see like a conclusion to this group. You know what I mean? Like kind of like the reason why WCW writing was kind of was kind of in the garbage. As one week, this and this and that could be going on. And then the next week, it's like it's not, nothing ever happened, and that's something that WWE has done as well in the past. But I don't know, it's should be pretty crazy. We have Kris Statlander taking on Camille, booked for tonight. Statlander is heading toward a babyface. I know it's been well known all of the wrestling news media then, and I feel like she's great as a babyface. Monet, obviously, is going to come out, try to do her due diligence and kind of help Camille in any way. We have Adam Cole returning to the ring in singles competition against Buddy Matthews. Last week, we saw him kind of, Chris everything over with his Undisputed Kingdom, maybe heading toward Undisputed Kingdom taking on House of Black would be pretty interesting. But, he's kind of stating to fight MJF at Full Gear. So, I don't know, it should be pretty crazy. And we're probably going to hear from Jon Moxley tonight. Obviously, the direction he wants to take AEW Dynamite. The rest of the Blackpool Combat Club members, Claudio Castagnoli, Pac, Mariah Shafir, and also Wheeler Yuta are set. Hangman Adam Page is also set to talk about, what's next for him. Maybe taking on Switchblade Jay White once again. Darby Allin, he's been expected to be on the show. Orange Cassidy, I believe, is going to perhaps confront Jon Moxley, especially after what happened to Chuck Taylor last week on Dynamite. And it's going to be a great episode. I can't wait to watch it. AEW has rapidly become a really like favorite show of mine in terms of wrestling. So it's kind of the first, obviously the PLEs, and then we have SmackDown, and we have AEW, and then we have Raw. Like I like Raw, but I I don't know. Maybe it could go into like a better direction and stuff, but I don't know. It's hard to kind of put it's hard to put lemons above oranges. I'm just kidding. No, moving on. So our third segment, guys, do not go anywhere. After this commercial break, we're going to talk about some Sami Zayn potential storylines. Maybe him turning heel. Which side will he choose? We're going to talk about it when we come back. So hey, do not go anywhere.